So although, since Matan Torah, everybody who does a mitzvah does it for the Eibishter, no? The Eibishter's mitzvahs. But if you think about it, in all the Maimorim, of all the Rabbeim, and in all the Sichos, and in all the stories, look through Hayom Yom. A chassid is obligated to do such and such. A Jew has to raise himself to a higher level. A person should never be content with the... All the pressure is on the person. And even the Fabrenians, the Mashpiyim, what was the demand? What did the Mashpiyim say? Stop being a grubber young, become edel, stop... have a little eskafia, daven a little longer. Fix yourself. What's wrong with you? You have to be in that tone. The Eibishter is a little bit forgotten. Avad is, of course, the Eibishter is Teiras Hashem, but where is the pressure? Pressure is on the human being. You have taivas. You have to work on it. Actually, it's a bit of a controversial issue, but I was recently in a non-Chabad shul, and somebody came over to me and said, do you have a psan eitzah for, men are such animals, and you look where you're not supposed to, and it's like, how do you control your eyes? I mean, how do you shmir aseinayim? How do you control your eyes? The truth is, I have no idea. Nobody ever talked to me about that. No mashpia ever mentioned that. So I said to him, what's wrong with your eyes? Something wrong with your eyes? It's not your eyes, it's your brain. The eyes are not the problem. Get to the problem. The problem is, what are you thinking? You close your eyes, it'll be better? There's this girl in Israel, a very smart girl, Baal Tshuva, and she couldn't stand the fake frumkeit of these people, who wouldn't look at her. So she was walking down the street, and a guy was coming the other direction, a Haredi. And he saw her, so he moved to the wall, and he closed his eyes, and he looked at the wall as he walked. So she said to him, excuse me, look at me and think of the wall. Looking at the wall and thinking of me is not sneers. So your problem is not your eyes. Keep your eyes on people, but your brain. Where are you going with your brain? See, here's the problem. Without Chabad, nobody thinks control your brain. If you're against Lashon Hara, bite your tongue. It's your tongue that is the problem. If you have machshavas zaros, it's your eyes that are the problem. Can you get to the real problem? So what should your brain do? What do you tell your brain? Thank you. How do you prevent? Is that not a problem for us? How do you prevent machshavas zaros? So there's an interesting word in Tanya where the Rebbe is saying that a person who's upset because he has machshavas zaros, it comes from gaiva. Because he thinks he's a tzaddik. And then he has a machshavas zara, he realizes, I'm not a tzaddik. How does he know? Because l'tzaddikim bevadai ein neiflum lehem hirhure shtus ke'elu. You hear what the Rebbe is calling it? Not machshavas zara. Hirhure shtus. So what should you tell your brain when you have machshavas zaros? That it's a shtus. What are you thinking? There's your world, and there's a world that is not yours. So imagine you walk past a very expensive, exotic-looking car. You say, wow. And you keep walking. What do you stop to think, how can I steal this car? It's a very nice car. You know what the price tag is? Not for you. So you keep walking. So your eyes are a problem because you saw a car. And your brain is not a problem because you know what you can afford. And this you can't afford. So you keep walking. To stop and think, maybe I can take a little ride in the car. Shtusim, what are you doing? It's out of your league. Keep walking. So you see somebody, you say, wow. And not yours, not for you, nobody's interested in you. Keep walking. You have to close your eyes. Why? Because if you see something, if you see an expensive car, you're going to steal it. That's why you have to close your eyes. Then you're a behemoth altogether with your eyes closed. I heard somebody say to a group of teenagers, he said, you know, the way we were raised, he says, the way we were raised is that if you see a girl from across the street, you have machshavas zaros. Once you know her name and you know who her family is, I can have machshavas zaros. Because you have too much derech eretz for her. So the machshavas zaros is only for a fremde, a fantasy from a distance, you can make a machshavas zaros. But, you know, come on. Somebody you know and it's a real person? Shtusim. And in the secular world is the exact opposite. From a distance, you're not interested. The more you get to know it, the more the machshavas zaros grows. So it's an interesting insight. Anyway, so in Chabad, the inner reality is what counts. So somebody said, what is Lubavitch doing to fight Lashon Hara? I don't hear anything in Lubavitch about Lashon Hara. I said, you're not listening. We talk about it all the time. He said, no, I listened, I went, I heard, not a word about Lashon Hara, against Lashon Hara. The conversation against Lashon Hara is Avas Yisrael. Because what does it mean, don't talk Lashon Hara? Think it, don't say it? That's the Chafetz Chaim's big chiddush? You're making fun of the Chafetz Chaim. Don't talk Lashon Hara means don't have negative things to say. Which means Avas Yisrael. That's the difference between Chitzenius and Pnimius. Don't blame your tongue and don't blame your eyes. Get your head on straight. Get your heart in the right place. Then you're a chassid.